All right, number 7, responsible. That is the topic for today. I gave you one job. One job. That is what I imagine Jesus was thinking with tears in his voice and in his heart as he wandered through the garden looking for Adam and Eve. One job. Watch over your garden and your girl. You see, earlier that day, a beautiful woman had wandered alone away from her protection and right into the hands of temptation. She'd found herself under this tree, eyes wide, mouth agape at the mystery. And the mystery was this voice that she thought she heard. Did she hear that? Yeah, there it was again. And where is it coming from? Oh, it turns out it's coming from this snake. The voice she heard ultimately asked her a question. And that question was basically, did God really say that you were not supposed to eat this fruit? Didn't he say that you could eat all the fruit from every tree in the garden? Yes, he did. He did say, but not this one. And after some back and forth with the serpent, that was the second mistake. She was so confused, she took it and she ate it. And then with fists full of it, she ran to her husband. And when she found him, he immediately knew what was going on. Eve, where did you get that fruit? It's the fruit, Adam. It's the fruit from that tree. Eve, we're not supposed to eat the fruit from that tree. Yes, I know, but here's the thing. I don't know. He like a serpent, I don't know. But anyways, he was in the tree and he was talking. And actually, if we do eat the fruit, we will have new powers. We'll become like gods. Eve, are you serious right now? That is exactly what we were warned against. We're not supposed to eat this tree. Adam, trust me, he ate it. He didn't die. I ate it. I didn't die. And so she gave it to her husband and he ate it too. And not long after that, someone was walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and Adam is like, oh man, let's hide. And so they did. They ran and hid as though you could hide from the creator of the universe. And they ran and hid behind a bush, and the creator of the universe comes and he calls, Adam, where are you? And he finally said, over here. Why are you hiding? Why are you hiding? And then he follows it up immediately with the question, did you eat the fruit that I warned you about? In that moment, the human family started our long history of passing the buck. A long history that has come all the way down to our day and continues to obstruct relationships. It did then, and it does now. He asks Adam, did you eat the fruit? And Adam says, it was my wife. She brought it to me. She gave it. What was I supposed to do? She brought me the fruit, so I ate it. Now watch what God does. In this interaction, God reveals to us just exactly what he thinks about responsibility, individual responsibility and ultimate responsibility. He asks Adam, did you eat the fruit? Yes. Oh, I ate the fruit, but it's because of my wife. He immediately turns to Eve. Is this true? And Adam thinks, I'm off the hook. Yeah, not so fast, Adam. He turns to Eve, asks Eve if it's true. Well, yeah, the serpent beguiled me, and so I did eat. Look, watch what God doesn't do. God doesn't turn to Adam or Eve with railing, I don't care what the serpent did. I don't care what he told you. I told you don't eat the fruit. I told you don't wander from your husband. I told you stick together. And remember, there's a deceiver out there. No, he doesn't do that either. Eve says, the serpent beguiled me, I ate the fruit. God turns immediately to the serpent. And actually, he doesn't even ask the serpent what went down because he knows the serpent is a deceiver, a liar from the beginning. And so he's not going to get the truth. So he makes the declaration about what's going to happen, starting with the serpent. You are cursed above all animals. You're going to get your head crushed out of this deal. And then he comes back to Eve and says, childbirth is going to hurt now, and to keep order, your desire will be for your husband. He will rule over you. And then he goes back to Adam. First of all, and then last of all. And he says, you're going to work and sweat and sorrow, and all of nature, including all of humanity, is going to fight back, and it's going to feel like futility followed by a return to dust. But that's actually not true. It's not futile. I actually have a plan, and this is the only way back to joy. It's just going to take a while. Why do you suppose he started with Adam and ended with him? Why do you suppose Paul refers to, one man sinned when actually Eve was the one who started it? Because while God holds each and every one of us responsible for our own actions, he holds some of us ultimately responsible. It goes back to that discussion we were having last week about this chain of responsibility. Who is the most accountable? He who is also the most responsible. So he told Eve right up front, Adam's going to be in charge. Yes, that's authority. That's where delegated authority came from. That's the first appearance we have of it in the human family in the first place. We didn't need it before then. But then he turns straight back to the husband and says, you who are in charge, once again, I'm giving you one job. And that job is the preservation of life. You're going to lose your garden, but you're going to keep your family. You are answerable to me for that family. Responsible. This one excites me. It excites me and scares me both. I believe that as a man, I am designated by God as the keeper of sacred charge, the protector of sacred trust, the defender of sacred property, which means that at any cost to myself, I need to do right by them. It means that I need to guard them with my person, with my prayers, with my love and my life, and not just because it's a heroic thing to do, but because it's fundamentally and inescapably my job. What does that look like in real life? It means that if someone is in danger or needs to be defended, it's my job to defend them. That's pretty obvious, right? But what if it's God? What if it's God who's being disrespected? Well, then I defend his name. What if it's Scripture that's being disrespected or put down? That means I defend that Scripture. If it happens to be a child, I defend that child. If it happens to be purity, I defend that purity. One of the most salient moments in my youth and most enduring regrets was a moment that I observed. It was an interaction between two female friends. Actually, one was a friend and one was an acquaintance. There was this big group of people. We're all sitting down for like a little reunion picnic thing. And my friend was sitting in this, we're all in like little clusters, right? My friend was like in this cluster, kind of adjoining the cluster I was in. And she happened to be wearing a wraparound skirt. The girl sitting right next to her with the acquaintance, thought that it would be funny to flip up the hem of her skirt a little bit. To which she, of course, responded with stop, right? And the girl did. The second girl did for a moment, and then came right back in and flipped it up again, to which she responded even more strongly with stop. And what followed that was this awkward silence, this awkward moment of everyone like, oh, that's embarrassing. Did I see that? I didn't see that. I mean, there wasn't really much to see, but nevertheless, did I see that interaction? And everyone had, multiple people, the stop was loud enough that multiple people around had heard it, right? And in that moment, I said nothing, actually. I didn't say anything, which was exactly the point because, I'm not involved. That's not my group. That's not, it's an individual interaction between those two people. And, it's teasing. And the girl who was doing the teasing, which is, it's just joking, it's so funny. 10 seconds, within 10 seconds of that interaction, I wished I had said something to the effect of, hey, stop it. That is not okay. But, then 10 seconds on, who wants to bring back up the thing that everyone was hoping that everyone would think that everyone didn't see because it was, okay, lesson learned. When you are called upon to take responsibility, when the moment comes to protect or the moment comes to defend, don't hesitate. It doesn't get any easier to do the right thing if you do hesitate 10 seconds later and it was too late. And actually doing the right thing is often not nearly as awkward as fear might make you think. But it doesn't really matter if it's awkward. You do the right thing whether or not it's awkward. I always will wish that I had done the right thing in that circumstance, whether or not it was awkward. If I am a man, if you are a man, we are designated by God, the keeper of sacred charge, the protector of sacred trust, the defender of sacred property. So don't stand there while someone else spoils what's worth protecting. I want, by grace, to be the guy who God someday comes to and says, I gave you one job, and you did it. All right, once again, that's it for this week. If you are not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. And if you are subscribed to the channel, find someone who isn't so we can add yet another soldier, yet another voice, yet another soul pursuing God together. We will see you next week. And until then, for the roar of the lion and the love of the lamb, I'm Sean Neblett, and this is The Lion and His Men.